Hi, thanks for joining. I'm so excited to talk to you today about why the BLEEP air ambulances are so expensive, how the insurance industry and the healthcare industry duke things out and you get caught in the middle, and what you can legally do to protect yourself to never pay for an air ambulance or a ground ambulance or any emergency transportation ever again. So without further ado, let's get started. First, my name is Tim. I am a full-time RVer, so I live where I park it. I am licensed in all 50 states plus DC. I have been focusing since 2005, working with retirees with Medicare, life insurance, long-term care, those tax-deferred asset protection plans where you participate in the gains but never the losses. But today, I'm really looking forward to talking to you about bridging the gap between your major medical and emergency transportation. This is available for anybody to purchase over age 18. Kids under age 18 can be covered by their parents' policy. A little bit about me, though. I've got an absolutely beautiful wife. I've got two awesome kids, and I've got the two world's most okayest dogs, which is probably an overstatement because one's got Tourette's and one doesn't even make a very good cat, but I just love them anyway. A couple of quotes about me, just so you know who you're dealing with. I'm far from perfect, but I do strive to hold myself to these standards. But those with good intentions make promises, those with good character keep them. And I absolutely try to let my character shine through. The other one is you want to live your life so that those that know you but don't know Christ want to know Christ simply because they know you. First, before we get into the meat and potatoes of the air ambulances and the ground ambulances and all that, as a thank you for attending, I just want to give everybody a free membership to American Senior Benefits Association, or ASBA. This is like a non-politically affiliated AARP plan. And it's absolutely free. There's no dues for it. I'm going to help you get enrolled, and then you get all these awesome discounts. You can go to myambadiscounts.com, click register here, and then they enter the code AMBA Savers. Or you can download the Passport mobile app and on your Android or Apple device. And again, the AMBA Savers is the activation code for you, and you start getting these wonderful discounts. But in order to appreciate the solution, you really have to comprehend how big of a problem emergency transportation is. Now, most people may be going, well, I've got health insurance. Why would I need it? Well, insurance pays usual and customary charges, which is usually the price 10 years ago, not now. And Medicare is kind of the standard. A lot of insurance companies follow what they do. And if you look at their language, even on their booklet, they tell you what to do if Medicare doesn't cover your ambulance service. So they're basically telling you on the cover of the book that you're going to see some denials. And really, that comes across the board. We've been in a healthcare crisis since for quite some time here in the United States. There's only 6 different types of health insurance. There's Medicare, there's the Veterans Affairs, there's TRICARE, there's the Unaffordable Care Act, there's Medicaid, and then there's private insurance through work or things like that. Well, 5 out of the 6 are government programs. They constantly borrow money from each other. They all scream that they're underfunded. And when that happens, 2 things happen. They're going to deny claims or they're going to reduce benefits. So essentially, they do not fully cover emergency transportation costs. And anybody that's ever had to call 911 will see that. Well, how often does that happen? So 28 million ground ambulances are dispatched each year. That's nearly 1 per second. And air ambulances is 550,000 per year. That's nearly 1 per minute. And just to give you an idea, these are real life bills that we've had submitted to us showing what the costs are for ground ambulances. Anywhere from $2,000 to $9,000 is what we've seen lately. And Medicare or private health insurance may deny your emergency claim. And when that happens for an air ambulance, that could make you liable for the entire bill. Last thing you want to see is an air ambulance bill that $55,000 is an air ambulance, a $60,000 is an air ambulance, a $5,000 is a ground ambulance, but you don't want to see those being denied. The most common reasons those are being denied is benefits weren't coordinated correctly, you didn't obtain authorization beforehand. How you get authorization beforehand in an emergency situation, it's beyond me, I don't know. Or it could be deemed medically necessary. And so, again, going back to the usual and customary cost, the example on the left, the air ambulance, the insurance company paid quite a bit, $35,000, but still leaving $3,000 out of pocket. That's quite a bit out of pocket. That's going to wipe out most people's bank accounts. Or the usual and customary cost for a ground ambulance, they pay $1,200, still have $4,800 out of pocket. And the reason that a lot of this happens is that, you have from the time the emergency happens, whether it's a car accident, a stroke, a heart attack, you generally have 1 hour to get to the right hospital to give you the best chance of survival. And I did not interrupt this for a T-Mobile commercial. This is a map of the United States where it is physically impossible to get to a level 1 trauma if you did not have an air ambulance available. So typically in a series of events, emergency happens, you call 911, a ground ambulance picks you up, they rush you to the nearest geographical hospital without exception. You get to that hospital and they can't treat your symptoms because what you have is more major. You need to go to a level 1 trauma. And so then they will have you sign what's known as an ABN form, or an advanced beneficiary notice of non-payment, to transport you from one hospital to the other, typically by an air ambulance. Here's a map of all the level 1 traumas. You can kind of see how it coordinates with this map here and how you need to get to a level 1 trauma. And so really the greater need is getting to the right hospital. But again, if you sign that ABN form, if it gets denied, the fine print says that you're 100% financially responsible for that air ambulance claim. And so ground ambulances, 1 out of every 7 of those get denied by major medical, and approximately 39% of air ambulances do. And the reason for that is that due to the Deregulation Act of 1978, air ambulances are actually covered and classified as a common carrier. So the only governing body that oversees the air ambulance industry is the FAA. So the Department of Insurance, Medicare, they have as much influence over their billing prices as they would over like Southwest Airlines or Delta. But now for the good news. Now that I've shared with you how big and complicated the problem is, let me share with you how simple the solution is and how you can legally never pay out of pocket for emergency transportation ever again. And the solution is MASA. MASA stands for Medical Air Services Association. They've been doing this since before the industry got changed over to the common carrier. They've been doing it since 1974. A+ reputation with the Better Business Bureau, and they are the company of choice for me. So the 4.9 stars with Google, 4.8 with Facebook, again, A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, really makes MASA a must-have. MASA covers emergency ambulance that your primary insurance does not cover. This is an association, not insurance. You're not solving an insurance problem with an insurance problem. You're solving an insurance problem by joining an association, and that association will pay for all of your emergency transportation costs. You should never be afraid to call for an ambulance. If you need help, you call and get help. And we'll magically make bills that look like this, where they go from denied to bills like this that were paid for by MASA. MASA will pay, or any copay will pay the deductible that you owe. It'll go towards your maximum out of pocket. MASA covers every emergency ambulance provider in the United States and Canada. It is out of pocket as a cost. There's zero for all of it. And there are no out-of-network fees. Air ambulances, most of them are not in network for any insurance company because they want to be able to maximize their return, and they want you to pay the out-of-pocket cost. So how does MASA work? Well, it's just pretty simple. Step 1, if you have a medical emergency, you call 911. That's step 2. Step 3, you receive the bill for that emergency, and then you send it over to MASA. MASA has you covered. It's a pretty simple 4-step process. I am, again, a full-time RVer. There's a lot of plans out there that claim that they cover air ambulances, but from the scene of the emergency to the hospital, there's only 2 out there, MASA and SkyMed. I read the fine print for all of them. I do apologize that this does not come through very well in this presentation. This is also available on my website, but I read the fine print for every single one of them. MASA will cover you if it is initiated by a licensed physician or a first responder. SkyMed says they'll cover you from the scene of the accident to the hospital as well, but in their fine print, it says that has to be initiated by a licensed physician. I don't know any licensed physicians that are first responders, and it has to be approved by their medical director prior to it being covered. Don't know how that's going to happen. When I called the 1-800 number, they didn't know either. Massa does have two plans available. They have a platinum and a shield. Both are absolutely awesome. They have a lot of overlapping benefits. And then the shield just has an enhancement. So let me kind of go over all of those. So emergency air ambulance is covered, hospital to hospital ambulance is covered, whether it's ground or air, or even a fixed wing aircraft, which is like a modified private jet. Emergency ground ambulance is covered. Organ retrieval or organ recipient transportation, so they'll bring you to the organ or the organ to you. Repatriation, so if you are, hospitalized up in Wisconsin, but your home base is in Arizona and you want to be transported to a local hospital, they will cover that for you as well. Companion coverage, so space permitting in an air or ground ambulance, they'll allow a companion to travel with you. Most air ambulance companies charge a flat $2,500 fee for that. Massa covers that for you. Hospital visitor transportation. This is really good if you travel and you're out of town. This will cover a commercial airfare for a spouse, a family member, or companion to come visit you bedside. Super duper important, especially for the fellow RVers out there like me, is the vehicle or RV return. So if you're more than 100 miles away from home, an emergency happens, Massa will even get your vehicle back to your house. Minor transportation. So if an emergency happens, I always use Disneyland as the example. Take the grandkids to Disneyland. You buy lunch, you look at the receipt, you have a heart attack because you just realize how much you paid for lunch on top of the tickets. Rather than just pinning a $20 bill to the kid's collar and wishing them the best of luck, not only would Massa fly them anywhere in the country to get to safety, but they would also hire a qualified attendant to fly with them. Mortal remains transportation had a client pass away in February of 2020 in Los Angeles. Their home base was Phoenix. Cost $11,000 to get their body from Los Angeles to Phoenix. It's a 356-mile transport. Like, even if you rolled a red carpet down the I-10, like, I don't know how it cost $11,000. And then patient return transportation. So, once you're discharged, get you back to another medical facility or something like that. Or if you're hospitalized in Wisconsin, you want to fly back once you've been released from the hospital, Mass will cover your airfare there. And then same thing with the pet return. That not only will they fly your pet, but they would also hire a qualified attendant to fly with them. So the prices in red is if you went directly to Massa, and this does not include the $60 application fee that they would charge you. The prices in blue there on the right are the prices that you would get by being an ASBA member, and 99% of the time we do waive that application fee for you as well. So for an individual, it'd be $27 a month, or for a family, which would be husband, wife, and any legal dependents up to age 26 if they're a full-time student, that would be covered by $35 a month. There's no real annual fee or annual option, but there is a 5-year option where you make one payment, you get 5 years worth of coverage, get about 6 months for free. A little bit of a discount there, be $13.05 for an individual or $17.55 for the family. And then if you're a husband and wife team and you are both over the age of 50, you do have the Charter Lifetime membership, which is a one payment, and then you get a lifetime of those benefits for you. For the shield, these are the extra benefits you get. So grandchildren, great-grandchildren protection. This is for ground ambulance only. And this is for any grandchildren or great-grandchildren up to the age 14. Already had an awesome success story with this. Had clients in Texas. Their grandchildren were in Tennessee. They were nowhere near their grandchildren. Their grandson was playing soccer, broke his leg, had to be taken by ground ambulance to the hospital. And it was a $4,000 bill. Massa covered all of it, and it satisfied their deductible, saving their children just tons of money. So it was absolutely wonderful. The COVID quarantine expense. So if you're traveling internationally and you test positive, you have to be quarantined for 10 or 14 days or whatever it is. This doesn't have to be COVID. Any quarantine for any future pandemic, if there is one. Massa would not only would pay up to $2,500 to offset the cost of the hospital, any food that you have to deliver because you have to either get room service or DoorDash, something like that, and also to rebook your airfare or air flight. Medical payment advisor. This is absolutely wonderful. This is by consumer demand. So you guys asking for it, where, you know, a lot of times if emergency happens, you have ground ambulance, maybe an air ambulance, you have emergency room, you have anesthesiologist, surgeon, all this kind of stuff. And you go, look, what bills actually get paid? What bills do I owe? So this way you can submit it all to a MASA advisor. They'll go through page by page telling you which ones they have satisfied. Now the deductible satisfied, please have them rebill, things of that nature. Really helps clear the muddy waters there. Hospital private room upgrade. So, you know, you always get a semi-private room. This would upgrade you to a private room at $1,500 per year. That's what they would pay. And then this actually covers non-emergency transportation from the hospital to a rehab, hospital to a skilled nursing facility, hospital to long-term care, or even hospital back home. They pay up to $500 for non-emergency transportation after the emergency and after your hospital stay. Extended hospital stay incidental. So if you have somebody staying with you, this will all pay $500 to help cover, you know, hotel or food or transportation, any of that kind of stuff. And then also companion return transportation. So last minute flights are expensive. So if you have to change your flight due to a hospitalization, MASA will work with them and cover those type of costs as well. So again, if you go directly to MASA, you get that $52 or $62 number. But with your ASBA, it's about a 40% discount. It's $39 for an individual, $49 for a family plan, again, that covers husband, wife, and any legal dependent up to age 26 if they're a full-time student. With the 5-year options there at $2,160 or $2,700, and then the lifetime options at $39 or $4,900. So you join this membership, and you will never have to pay emergency transportation costs again, completely covered, legal binding contract, black and white. If you do get the 5-year or the lifetime options, you do get some additional benefits. You get a travel advisor. It's very helpful for my scuba diver clients that still wanted to travel during the pandemic. They had one number to call and they knew exactly what to expect once boots were on the ground, as far as testing or were mask required, any of that kind of stuff. Physician search is covered. So this is worldwide coverage anywhere except for Antarctica. You are covered in United States, Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbean without letting MASA know whatsoever. If you do a European tour, an African safari, Amazon guided tour, any of that kind of stuff, anywhere else outside of United States, Canada, Mexico, and the Caribbean, you do have to submit your itinerary 14 days prior to travel, and they will actually map out where physicians would be that are English speaking in your area. Emergency relay. So if you are out in the bush, it's kind of hard to get communication to family. They assist you with that. They have attorney search, translation services, foreign currency, cash advance, 24-hour nurses hotline, travel concierge, and then also you get this. I don't know if you guys remember the old school medical bracelets that, you know, guys know exactly what I'm talking about when I say would rip out all your arm hair. Girls, you think waxing is bad, you should try on one of those bracelets. But with this, it's a very comfortable rubber banded, hyperallergenic rubber banded, and it's got a QR code. So anybody that has a smartphone or a tablet can pull up a website, and you get to control exactly all the information as far as I'm allergic to this medication, this is my doctor, this is my emergency contact person, this is my insurance information. All of that would be readily available if you are found unconscious. And I just want to thank you guys so much for attending this. Really hope to earn your business. These are some ways to get a hold of me, and I would absolutely love to assist you guys, because this coverage can literally save your life and your life savings. Thanks again for attending. Bye.